When invisible becomes invincible, breaking free from narcissistic erasure, have you ever built something beautiful only to watch someone else take all the credit? Ever poured your heart, soul, and sleepless nights into a relationship or business only to be told your contributions didn't really matter? I want you to pause for a moment, take a breath with me, because what I'm about to share might feel like someone finally turned on the lights in a room where you've been stumbling in the dark for years. Recently, I had the profound honor of interviewing Ashley Johnson, whose groundbreaking work with Black women navigating narcissistic relationships has transformed countless lives. Her insights cut through the noise of self doubt that so many high achieving women experience when their contributions are systematically erased. Ashley isn't just a therapist or advocate. She's a revolutionary force who has created safe harbors for women when the storms of narcissistic abuse threaten to drown them. Her compassionate approach to helping women reclaim their power has created ripples of healing across communities where these conversations are often silenced, dismissed, or pathologized. The story she shared with me revealed a pattern so consistent it can't be coincidence. A pattern where brilliant, capable women, especially Black women, find themselves rendered invisible in the very spaces they help create. Let's be honest, we don't talk about this enough. The way narcissism functions as both a personal wound and a societal weapon. The way it particularly targets those already fighting to be seen in a world that wasn't designed for their visibility. I'm not here to villainize anyone. I'm here to illuminate something that happens in boardrooms and bedrooms across America every single day. When a narcissistic partner or colleague systematically erases your contributions, it's not just annoying, it's not just unfair. It's a form of psychological violence that leaves invisible scars and tangible consequences. Consider the story Ashley shared about a Black woman entrepreneur who helped launch her husband's business from absolute zero. She handled the logistics, marketing, finances, essentially building the infrastructure while he became the face. As the business grew successful, his control tightened. In public, he took sole credit. In private, he dismissed her input. When she challenged decisions that put their family's stability at risk, he accused her of being unsupportive. Sound familiar to anyone? I see those nods. This isn't just about hurt feelings. This is about economic justice, about recognition, about the very real consequences of having your labor exploited, then erased. What did this woman do? Something brilliant. She started documenting everything, every email, every contract, every contribution. She connected with a local network of Black women entrepreneurs who validated what she already knew. This wasn't normal business practice. This was exploitation wrapped in matrimony. When the business eventually faced legal troubles due to her husband's mismanagement, troubles she had warned about, she presented clear evidence of her role. This protected some assets during their separation. Yes, she lost financially in the divorce. But here's where the story shifts from tragedy to triumph. She rebuilt her professional life using the very skills she developed during those years of invisible labor. Today, she mentors other Black women entrepreneurs facing similar dynamics. Her pain became purpose, her invisibility became advocacy. But let's be clear, this shouldn't be necessary. No one should have to forensically document their own existence to prove they matter. The research confirms what many of us have experienced. Narcissists genuinely perceive inequity because they dramatically overestimate their own contributions while minimizing others. It's not just rudeness, it's a fundamental distortion in how they process reality. Now, let me share another story that might hit close to home for some of you. A mother of six, found herself suddenly homeless after her husband left for another woman who better fit his idealized notion of submissiveness. The abandonment wasn't just emotional devastation, it was the literal loss of housing security. This family moved between shelters while processing profound trauma. What happened next speaks to the power of community. She connected with advocacy groups serving homeless families led by single mothers. These organizations provided specialized counseling for women rebuilding after narcissistic abuse. Through group therapy focused on empowerment rather than shame, she gradually reclaimed her confidence. Eventually, she secured stable housing through transitional programs designed specifically for displaced mothers. But the story doesn't end there. Her ex husband continued manipulation attempts even after leaving, bouncing between households until legal boundaries were established with support from community advocates. Today, this woman speaks publicly about homelessness among professional Black women, an issue rarely discussed in mainstream conversations. Her advocacy has prompted local policy changes around support services at emergency shelters. Again, pain transformed into purpose, invisibility transformed into voice. These stories matter because they're happening right now all around us. They're happening to women who look like they have it all together. Women leading teams at work while their contributions are minimized. Women holding down households while their sacrifices go unacknowledged. Women in what Ashley Johnson brilliantly identifies as survival mode. And here's where I want to connect these stories to something bigger, something that resonates deeply with the journey toward what many of us are now calling our soft girl era. For too long, Black women especially have been expected to be strong, to carry everything, to never complain, to make it work no matter what. The strong Black woman trope isn't just exhausting, it's deadly. It keeps us from seeking help, from setting boundaries, from prioritizing our own well being. But what if strength looked different? What if true power came not from enduring mistreatment, but from naming it? Not from carrying everything, but from setting things down. What if your softness, your vulnerability, your need for recognition, your desire for partnership rather than exploitation isn't weakness, but wisdom? The women in these stories eventually discover something revolutionary. Reclaiming power starts with telling your truth by documenting contributions that others try to erase, by connecting with communities that validate your reality, by speaking openly about experiences others would prefer remain hidden. This isn't just healing for the individual, it creates space for collective liberation. Every woman who stands up and says, I helped build this, makes it easier for the next woman to do the same. Every mother who refuses shame around homelessness after betrayal helps another mother seek resources sooner. Every time we name narcissistic erasure for what it is, a form of exploitation, we make it harder for these patterns to continue unchallenged. I want to be absolutely clear about something. If you're nodding along right now, if these stories resonate DMT with your lived experience, you are not crazy. You are not oversensitive. You are not imagining things. What you're experiencing has a name, it has a pattern, and most importantly, it has a way out. So, what can you do if you recognize these dynamics in your own life? First, challenge yourself to document your value at home or work. even if no one else acknowledges it yet. Keep a record of your contributions, your ideas, your labor. Not because you should have to prove your worth, but because gaslighting thrives in the absence of evidence. Second, seek supportive communities where you can safely share your experiences without judgment. This might be formal therapy, support groups, or trusted friends who understand narcissistic dynamics. The isolation these relationships create is by design. Connection is the antidote. Third, set clear boundaries if you recognize manipulative behaviors. Remember that healthy submission is mutual, not one sided exploitation. In healthy relationships, both parties sacrifice, both contribute, both receive recognition. As Ashley Johnson so powerfully articulated in our interview, your story is valid and you are not alone. Many women, especially Black women, find themselves in situations where their sacrifices and contributions are overlooked by narcissistic partners who prioritize their own needs over family well being. Narcissism distorts both personal relationships and business partnerships. These partners genuinely overestimate their own contributions while minimizing others, creating profound inequity. This dynamic leaves spouses and colleagues feeling invisible or exploited, especially when they've played foundational roles in building something from scratch. But reclaiming power starts with telling your truth. By sharing your story, even through pain, you create space for healing, not just for yourself, but for others experiencing similar struggles. Speaking up breaks cycles of silence and empowers others to seek support or forge new paths. I want to end with this challenge. What would happen if we collectively refused to remain invisible? What if tomorrow you started documenting your contributions? What if you connected with one person who could validate your experience? What if you spoke your truth, even in a whisper? The journey from invisible to invincible isn't about becoming harder or more armored. It's not about fighting fire with fire or becoming narcissistic yourself. It's about reclaiming your softness as strength, your vulnerability as voice, your boundaries as birthright. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be seen, acknowledged, and valued, not despite being a woman who has carried too much for too long, but because of it. This is your permission slip to put down the cape, to document your brilliance, to speak your truth, to find your people, to protect your peace, because your visibility isn't just about you. It's about creating a world where no one's contributions can be erased, where no one's labor goes unacknowledged, where no one has to prove they exist. Your invisibility ends today. Your invincibility and the collective power it creates begins now. Thank you